If you're an empty nester, you're thinking about being an empty nester and you're wondering, what the heck do we do now? Should we sell our house and move to another location? Should we sell our house and stay in the same location? Should we upsize or downsize? Well, we're going to talk about it today, me and Miss Betty Boop, so stay tuned. Catherine Newman here. So glad you joined in today. You see my special guest star.
Ladies and gentlemen, making her first, but definitely not last, I present the magnificent, the magical, the marvelous,
my sister Betty. And yes, she is the lovelier younger sister to me. Sometimes you've seen her maybe in some of the videos when I'm doing the home tours, and sometimes she's kind of sneaking around because she helps me with those. So we're really glad to have her. We're going to be talking about empty nesters today, what that means, what you should think about if you're thinking about maybe downsizing or upsizing, and you don't have kids at home anymore. It's just the two of you or just one of you, or just you and a partner or whatever it is. So we're going to talk about that because we were empty nesters when we moved here. Betty and her husband are empty nesters when they moved here a few years ago. So we're going to talk about that. And before we do though, I'd love for you, if you find value in this, I sure hope that you would like this video, subscribe to this YouTube channel. I'm always trying to put out information that relates specifically to people that want to move to the areas of Sarasota and Manatee County. And of course, all of the things that are going on in this area. It's such a growing area in both counties. I want to make sure that we let you know all of that. So make sure you subscribe to this YouTube channel. Empty nesters predominantly means people who are home by themselves now. They have had other people move out of the house, their kids or whatever, and they're thinking about whether or not they need to think about the next phase of their life, upsize or downsize. And so that's what we're going to talk about today. And I thought this was an interesting stat here from the National Association of Realtors that empty nesters are typically in their late 40s, 50s, or 60s, which is true. We moved to Florida. I was in my 40s when I moved to Florida. You were in your 40s when you moved to Florida. We're not there anymore.
I'm sorry, was I?
No, were you? Oh, girl, you weren't. You were hitting the big 5-0. Okay,
Yeah.
so I was trying to give her an out there.
Yeah.
Or their 60s. And again, some people have children later in life. We were both pretty young. I was 25 when I had my first one. You were like what, 12 or something? How old were you when you
10?
You tramp. How old were you when you had your first kid?
No editing. I want all of it.
Yeah, we're not going to edit that out.
23 or 24.
Okay. So our generation, 70s and 80s kids, we're a little younger when we had our kids, but it doesn't matter how old you were when you had your kid. But some of us, as empty nesters, 40s, 50s, and 60s, and it says that collectively, the people in these age ranges make up 40% of home buyers. And that is true. I find that in my own business here. Most of you that I met, they're coming from northeast states and of course the Midwest. I meet a lot of you even from California. It's lovely. I get to meet a lot of you here, as Betty knows. I'm so excited, all of the ones that I get to meet. And you're coming from all over the areas and you're doing the same thing. You're empty nesters. You're finally focusing on yourself, or you and your partner, you and your spouse, and you get to kind of do what you want to do now. So that's what we're going to talk about today. And I saw this on a website that said that one of the biggest questions that empty nesters ask is, should you sell your kids' childhood home? Now, I found that interesting, Betty, because first of all, growing up, we grew up in Virginia, and really up until my 7th grade year, your 4th or 5th grade year, we moved every 2 years. So we were in, this county in Virginia, then this county, and then this place. And then we ended up outside of Richmond, Virginia, a little town called Mechanicsville. And in Mechanicsville, we still own 2 houses. So in my mind, my thought was, we really don't have a childhood house. Would you have thought that we had a childhood? Would you think of one particular house, or would you think of all of them?
Like separate.
Yes.
Like, not one particular,
Yes.
but it's like have memories here, memories here.
Exactly. So
Yeah.
that's interesting to me that this is one of the biggest questions, because for us, we just had different houses. We wouldn't have thought about, if my parents wanted to sell our childhood home, we'd have thought, okay, sell a house.
Right.
But a lot of you that I meet, especially up in the Northeast and the Midwest, you do have homes that you've lived in 20, 30 years and you raised your family there. So I understand there's a big emotional tie there. So I'm curious to hear from you guys. Please comment below in the comment section. Did you grow up in a childhood home that you had for most of your childhood? And if your parents were selling your home, would that affect you emotionally? Would you be like, hey, don't do that? Would it be sad for you? For us,
we moved so often.
yeah, if somebody, we were just talking about that. If somebody said, your parents are selling your childhood home, we'd have said what?
Which one?
Which one?
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm really curious to know, is that your situation? Because that does leave a big emotional impact when you are moving. You're going to sell the house that your kids grew up in, all of the memories, all of the family things that you did there. So I want to hear your take on that, and put those comments below. Here are the questions I get asked most when it comes to empty nesters and what they should do if they're leaving a state and coming to another one, or if they are selling the childhood home or just the home they've been living in. And the first thing is, should they downsize or upsize? So you guys moved here. What was your feeling about downsizing or upsizing?
Comparing what we had and what we were used to, thinking that we needed that same square footage.
I got you.
Where we were coming.
Okay.
Where we were leaving from and where we're coming to.
Right.
And
So did you?
not at all.
You downsized.
We downsized.
Okay. When we moved here, we downsized, so from 4,300 to just under 2,500 square feet. Whereas you guys downsized from Virginia moving to Florida. We actually, in retrospect, wish we had a little bit more square footage, just because of our lifestyle and the things we like to do with our, rooms and that sort of thing. So for us, we wish we had not downsized as much. And that's a decision you have to make when you're coming here. And as I'm taking you around showing you these communities, I'm going to remind you of, don't forget that the kids still come home and visit. You might have grandkids and that sort of thing. So maybe downsizing too much might not be the best option for you. It just depends on what you have now.
Think about so often decisions that we were making as if we still had our kids with us.
Very good point. Very good point.
Like, what if so and so comes? But obviously they will come.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So,
You're making decisions, and that's true.
Right.
This is a great point. We're making decisions based on the fact that we think the kids are going to be here all the time or not be here all the time
Right.
now. Believe me, if you're moving from a colder state, which most of the country is, and you're moving to Florida, your kids are going to want to visit a lot.
Right.
So don't think that you're never going to see them again, that kind of thing. They're going to want to visit. And when they do, you want to make sure you have that space for them. But you also don't want to buy too much house where you're like, you have 3 bedrooms that are empty all the time and they're never going to come, because you got to heat it. Well, you don't have to heat it for the most part, but you got to cool it, right, for most of the year. So you want to make sure you don't downsize too much. But that is a very good point. A lot of us are thinking that the kids are going to basically be living here. Thank God, no, right, in the house with us, because that's the whole point, is to let them go and start their lives and that sort of stuff. But that brings me to a great point. What do you do with all your stuff when you downsize, when you go to another place? Because I've said it on this channel many, many times, you guys, there's not a lot of storage in these houses. We don't have attic space for the most part. We don't have basements. So what do you do with most of your stuff?
Our stuff, important stuff, pictures, trophies, anything of that nature, obviously saved.
Yeah.
It's saved and tucked away somewhere.
They don't know where.
But
she has no clue where
I
those
know where it
things
is.
are.
It's in the credenza. But those things are important. And then other things, having to just look at that stuff and say, well, this served its purpose, but we don't need it where we're going.
Okay, so another thing you need to consider, of course, is location. I have a lot of people that come down here and they're looking at several areas, not just me showing them around in, these areas in Manatee and Sarasota County, but they're looking also in Fort Myers or maybe on the East Coast in Delray Beach or, Boca or any of that sort of thing. And that's good. For some people, they've narrowed it down already. They've been out here to visit, maybe had vacations. For us, we knew we wanted to be on the west side. We think the Gulf Coast is the best coast. But that's why we did, because I'd already been down here when my parents moved here. I knew I liked this area, but we really loved Manatee County, so that's probably true for you
Same
guys.
thing, just listening to what you're saying is thinking back when we came out to visit, whether it be you guys or, our parents, being taken around to different places and just coming out to visit for however long, like, wow, we really loved it there. Wow, that's so nice. It's so convenient.
Yes.
To so many different beaches, whether you're going to Clearwater, you're going to,
Yes.
St.
Yes,
Pete,
we love that.
Anna Maria or, Siesta Key. So it just the flexibility of so many different places you could go to and how close we were to so many things that we enjoy.
Yeah, so you had this commute thing that you can
Right.
do, all of these little places you can go. You guys liked it just like we did. Of course, it's nice to be near your family too. And like she said, you want to be close to what you love.
Right.
So if beaches aren't your thing, you might like Orlando. If
Right.
you like lots of traffic and you like
Right.
all of the theme parks and all of the foodie stuff, then Orlando's beautiful. Lots of lakes there. That might be your thing. But for us, we wanted to be near the beaches. You want to make sure you're moving to a place that's close to the things that matter to you. The other idea about location is, do you want to be near, we already talked about beaches, we talked about the outdoors. This is a very outdoorsy area. You will see people doing all kinds of people like to go to the national parks that are nearby. They like to go, got a thing flying around my face. They like to go, of course, to the beaches, as we've already said. But there's also great arts and entertainment here. As you mentioned, Betty, earlier, you're so close to everything. You can get to South Tampa if you want to go to a concert. There's concerts in St. Pete. You will see live music. That you're going to see so much culture here and so much arts and entertainment, and a lot of big names come here as well. So we're always very close to concert places, venues, everything you want to do outdoors, arts and entertainments. There's museums, there are art shows and galleries, there's markets that happen. We love the markets in different areas of town, arts and craft shows, all kinds of things like that. The other thing is that we like being close to an airport. If being near an airport is important to you, so your kids, your family, your grandkids can come see you, then again, this is a great area to do that. And you need to consider that if you're looking for a place to retire or someday retire. The other aspect of location is, do you want to be in the mix of all the stuff going on? Or do you want to be outside of the mix, or do you want to be really far away and just have total privacy? A lot of you are coming from very big, busy areas like New York and Jersey, the DC area, and you are so sick of traffic and that sort of thing, and you want more privacy. So these areas, Manatee and Sarasota County, offer you, if you want more space. Of course, if you're looking for more acreage and that sort of thing, you're going to pay for it, right? So if you're in a new house, you're going to be well over $1 million. If you're looking for something older and you're okay with that, then maybe under that range. But you also have the option to be in the mix of things, but not too close by. So I always relate this to like Lakewood Ranch. We all love Lakewood Ranch. It's beautiful, and I know most people, a lot of people right now in Parrish feel like Parrish is going to become Lakewood Ranch because we do have a lot of development and stuff going on. But even some of you that I've been showing houses to the last few weeks, you've gone through both. You know that new development is coming to Parrish, and especially in the area you live off of Moccasin Wallow, you're in it every day.
Right.
And so we know that it's coming. But I still feel like, and so did my clients that I'm working with right now, when they go through Lakewood Ranch, they still feel like that Parrish is a little separated from it and still has some rural areas, that's a hard word to say, and still has some separation from being in the mix. So we get to go to Lakewood Ranch, or we get to go to Tampa or Sarasota, whatever, and be in the mix, and then we get to leave and come home. What is your feel? Because you live in Summerwoods, right off of Moccasin Wallow, where everything's being extended and built. What are your thoughts on that?
Same thing we were talking about the other day, like going to the beach.
Yeah.
Like we go to the beach so often, and we feel like we're on vacation.
Yeah.
And it's nice to be able to do our beach thing, whether it be the whole day or just a few hours, and then get in our car and go back home.
Yeah.
You know, and
so you get to go to the mix and then leave it.
Get to go to the mix and leave it. So love going to Lakewood. Love going to lots of different places.
Yeah.
Love knowing that you can, you know, you're not too far away, that you can't be involved, or you can't, you know, participate or go hang out and do those things that you like doing. But yet you get back in your car, and it's where you know it, you're back home. And you say goodbye.
Say bye-bye.
And it's nice to be that close.
Yeah.
It's, but not so close that you're like, man, I wish we had more.
Yeah.
You know, privacy, or, you know.
Right. So the growth that's happening right now in Moccasin Wallow, where you live, that's not bothering you. You're not freaking out saying, oh my God, we wish we hadn't done this.
No, we actually are excited.
Good.
To hear of all the things they're going to be building, and how close we're going to be.
Okay.
And we, you know, like we talked about the other day, feeling that we're tucked away enough.
Yeah, you are.
In our neighborhood, but we're so close. I don't know, what?
2 minutes?
From the
Publix,
interstate?
and from the, and 3 minutes from the interstate. Yeah.
2 or 3 minutes to the interstate, and Publix.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, like, I
Gotta
could
go to Publix.
ride my bike there.
You gotta
if
go
I
to
had a
Publix.
bike.
There's one on every corner.
But but it, to be that close, but yet feel like we're tucked away enough that I feel like we're still in our little community, our little neighborhood.
That's a good point.
You know?
Because you chose a house and a lot where you have it built. You chose the house tucked away from the road, where you're a little further back in a community. Again, something we're going to talk about when I take you around and show you houses. I might remind you, hey guys, this is going to be a little closer to the main drag here, if that's cool with you. But if not, maybe let's move back into the community where you don't hear it as much or see it as much, but you can get to everything easy access. So that's a really good point. The other thing is, do you want to live near your grandkids, your parents, or whatever? For us, we moved here because my parents moved here, but they moved here after following us all to Colorado. And so we felt like it'd be nice to, as they were getting older, maybe be near them. I mean, hello, if they had moved to Alaska, I probably wouldn't have had the same heart. I'd said, I love you, I'll come visit. But Mama ain't moving there.
Not going to Alaska.
And I'm not knocking Alaska. Alaska's beautiful. It's just not a place I'd want to live. But when they came here, we thought this would be a great place for us to come to and begin the next phase of our life, so we can retire comfortably later, but we get to be near our parents. So, but we did move away from our kids.
I mean, and that's part of it.
It is.
Our kids have their own path. Your kids have their own path. That they're not 15 anymore.
Right.
So they're doing their life and doing their thing.
Right.
Like talking about the parents, it's nice that we're I'm 12, 15 minutes away from both you guys, because you're actually closer to Mom and Sid.
Yeah, 5 minutes down the road.
Than I am. And so just to be able to get in the car and know, 12, 13 minutes later, you're where you want to be.
Yeah.
It's nice, just in case you need to go help, but most of the time, hopefully, it's not you need to go help. You're just hanging out.
Yeah,
or
exactly.
wanting to spend time.
Exactly. And it's really nice too. Sometimes, like, hey, I'm at Publix. Do you need anything?
Absolutely, because it goes both ways.
It does,
Hey, if you're going to so and so, would you mind grabbing so and so for me?
Yeah, and our mom's really great about that kind of stuff. If she needs to grab something for us,
or if we don't feel like going to get it,
or no, and sometimes we go shop at our parents' house. Like, hey, I don't feel like going to the store. Do you have any noodles? So yeah, it helps when your mom shops in bulk. So anyway, there's that. Thing to consider, number 3, lifestyle. So now that the kids are gone, people aren't living in your home anymore. What kind of lifestyle do you want to have? What does it look like now that you're not taking kids to their sporting events and you're not living your whole life basically around the lives of your kids, which is the way it should be? Now you get to kind of live for you. First of all, are you still working? I'm still working. My husband's still working. you gave up your proctology practice years ago, so you're no longer a proctologist because now you get
Right.
time off.
That's right.
Yes. So, but your husband is
can't
still
hold it.
working.
I can't hold my.
So I'm still working. My husband's still working, and her husband is still working.
Right.
So you have to decide for yourself: are we moving into an area because we're both still working? What are we working towards? Do you need a home office? I need a home office. Your husband need an extra space.
I'm sorry, I don't need a home office.
Another thing you need to think about is, do you like to have people over? So is it a lifestyle where you like to have people come visit? You want a lot of space to entertain. We like that, but we're too busy. We really don't have time to have a lot of people over. We try to certain times of the year. What about you guys? She's like, I don't care.
But right now, we're not so much, you know.
You're not
hosting
inviting the
parties.
neighborhood over.
We're not hosting
all
parties
the
or
time.
anything.
Okay.
We're actually
Okay.
just now.
But you
know,
used
right
to.
now.
That
Loved
was a bigger
Right.
part of your life
Yeah, we loved it.
earlier when you were in Virginia.
Right.
And
Right.
so that's really changed for you
Right.
guys. Not just because you don't, I
Not
mean, you
that
knew
it's
more people there
bad or
too. You knew
good
more
or-
people there.
Right.
You don't know as many people here, but now you're kind of enjoying that space where it's just quieter.
Right, it's
Everything's
just very
changed.
different.
Okay.
Right.
Okay, that's good. And then you have to kind of decide lifestyle wise, do you need space in your home for hobbies or interests? For example, we have a recording studio because we've done music forever. We have a recording studio in one of our bedrooms, so it's not set up for a bedroom at all. The other bedroom we have set up as a workout room. We like to work out in our home, 5 days a week at least, but we also have a Murphy bed in there in case somebody comes to visit. So we took up 2 spaces just to have that for us. What you guys have a great flex room and game room, so that was important to you. What did you do with
Right.
that space?
We actually thought it would be fun to have just what you just said, a game room. You
Okay.
know, with
Tell them what you
games.
have because it's
We've-
cool.
We've got a pinball machine.
You're a pinball
Have an
wizard
arcade.
stuff.
We have a bar. We've got a beautiful media storage up on the wall, and it's nice just to go in there and play a few games and laugh and have a good time.
So you have to decide, do you want spaces? Maybe you like to work in the garage. Maybe you like to garden and you want gardening space in the backyard. Maybe you're a music lover like we are and you need space for music equipment and guitars and pianos or whatever it is that you like. Maybe you're an artist like my sister. She's an awesome abstract artist. I love using her artwork when I stage people's homes. So if I'm staging your home to get it sold, which hope you call me about, give me a call. I like to use a lot of her artwork because people love it. It's really great. So you find space to live the lifestyle that you like. The other thing to think about is for your lifestyle, when you're choosing a home, do you want yard maintenance? Do you want to live in a community where the maintenance is taken care of for you? Or do you want to live in a house where you do it yourself? Some people use yard maintenance as a stress reliever. And
All
it
what
would
you like.
it would cause me stress, but for other people, they like to get out there and it just clear their heads. I had somebody tell me that the other day. It's something they enjoy. The other option is if you don't want to pay the fee to live in a maintenance-free community, you can hire someone. A lot of our neighbors do. They have people that come in and for $100 a month or whatever, they do your yard work once a week. So that's something to think about. What kind of lifestyle do you want to live while you're here? Thing to consider, number 4, of course, is finances. Duh, right? You've got to know how you want it. Do you want to finance your home? Do you want to pay cash? A lot of people are coming down here. I'm meeting you people who are coming down here to find something now, even though you might still own something up there, but you want to find something now where the prices are still good. A lot of you are coming down here saying, we want to find something now that we can go back and forth and enjoy for a while, but we're going to retire there once we're done working. Do you want community fees? You've heard me talk about CDD fees and you've heard me talk about HOA fees. If you're not sure what a CDD fee is, I won't go into it, but make sure to watch this video here, wherever it shows up on the screen. It'll explain what a CDD fee is, and you have to pay those fees when you move into certain communities. Almost all of the communities now have a CDD fee. So it's not like you lowered your expectations.
No.
It was more like you became more realistic in your expectations of what you were going to find for what you wanted to pay.
Right, and I think it's normal with a lot of things.
Yeah.
You know, we have imaginations, and we think, oh, when this happens, then I'll do this, this, and this, and
Right.
it doesn't always pan out like that.
Right.
And then you know
have to
can
adjust.
panic, or right,
Yeah,
you
you
can
pivot.
panic or get upset
Yeah.
or whatever,
Yep,
or
yep,
you
yep.
can say, wait a minute.
You saving for retirement. Again, for us, we downsized, and we wanted to live in a place that we could, while we're still working, pay off as soon as we can, so that we're ready for retirement when it comes and we don't have a mortgage. I find a lot of you are doing the same, and maybe you want to travel more. I know we do. Making those financial decisions when you move to another place because you are empty nesters, that plays heavily into kind of house you're going to find, the location where you buy, and how your lifestyle is going to be. So, of course, those are things that when you call and we talk on the phone, we're going to go over all of that stuff. We're going to talk about what really is important to you. Thing to consider when you're an empty nester, number 5. You need to be close to specialists, to doctors, to hospitals. And I know, for my parents, when they moved here, they were already in their late 60s, right? Early 70s when they moved here. Of course, that was important to them, to be near hospitals, good doctors, and that sort of thing. And as we age, we all want to make sure that we're not way out in the sticks and it takes us, an hour to get somewhere, or an ambulance to get to us. Now, most of us aren't thinking that way. I'm
Right.
certainly not thinking that way.
Right.
You're not thinking that way, but
we respect,
that people need to, or maybe
Right.
you have a condition that you've had and you want to make sure you're near the right
Absolutely.
specialist. And that's, I have ulcerative colitis. I like having my gastroenterologist here, close by in case, there's something I got to deal with, which happens if any of you that know what UC is like, you have situations. So this is something you need to consider where you're moving. Is it going to have what you need? And if Parrish is on your radar, then you can be assured that that's going to happen here. But wherever you're moving across the country, wherever you end up as an empty nester, think about those things because you will age and you might need stuff in the future. Number 6 thing to consider as an empty nester. When you're moving to a new location, new town, new state, whatever, a new country, do you want to be in a community, or do you want to be outside of a community, out on your own thing, 5 acres, 20 acres, 40 acres, doing your own thing, privacy, privacy, privacy? That is also something to consider. Were you looking for a community where you're looking like, we want to be in a community where there's lots of people we can meet and we can do things, blah, 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 that kind of thing? Were you looking for that?
To us, it wasn't.
Okay. Okay.
'cause
No, that
we
makes
enjoy
sense.
meeting people, we enjoy talking with people.
Right.
But we also enjoy not talking to people.
She enjoys not
So-
talking to people.
So we also enjoy that too. So you'll edit, I'm sure. So
I'm not editing that. No, I'm not. But no, I totally agree with you because I get it. A lot of you come here and you say, we want like the active 55 plus community. We want to have an active lifestyle director, which a lot of these communities offer, whether they're 55 plus or not, just communities in general. They have planned events all the time, whether it's for adults or for kids or just for families in general. They have all kinds of stuff going on in the community. They have clubhouses and pools, and they have fitness rooms, all of this kind of stuff that you can get involved in. And so I have you guys that really want that, and that's cool because some of you have been so focused on raising your family and having your kids that you've never had any of that kind of, we want adult interaction, we want to go play bunco, or we want to play machan, or we want to have a golfing community. And that's cool. And Florida certainly offers those kind of communities, really more so than not. For us, we weren't looking for a community that had a lot of amenities. We wanted our own pool. We did not want a community pool. We didn't need a fitness room because we have one in the house. So we weren't really necessarily looking for an active community where we could be involved. But if you're looking for something that gives you all of the activities, of course you pay for those activities, But if that's your thing and you want to go to Tequila Tuesdays and Wine Wednesdays and Sangria Saturday, if that's your thing, it's here. There's so much to offer here, because you have to also consider, what kind of community do we want? Do we want to be really, really active and pay for it? Or do we want to be a little more laid back? We'll build our own community just from our neighbors and knowing our friends that we meet and that sort of thing. So keep all of those things in mind when you're thinking about whether or not you want to relocate to another state, or you want to relocate to another area within your state. And if you're thinking about Manatee and Sarasota counties, I am the gal for you. I really hope you'll give me a call. I'd love to chat with you, as I do with so many of you, about what your plans are, what you're thinking about, so that we can really cater what you need for your lifestyle, for your finances, for your goals of retirement maybe later on, or maybe you're a young family. Have a lot of you coming out now. It's so great to meet the next generation of buyers. So proud of you, because it's really hard to buy a house right now for any age. So if that's you and you're moving out with your kids, or maybe you haven't had kids yet, and we can find those communities that fit you for now and really fit for whatever you're building in the future. Make sure that you give me a call. I'd love to chat with you about that. And please, if you found value in this, and this is answered some of your questions, I sure hope you like this video and subscribe to this YouTube channel, so I can continue to put out information and all of this kind of stuff where we talk with other people about how their experiences are, because I think that it really helps you know that we're just like you, you're just like us. We just want to live in a great place. We want to enjoy our community. We want to enjoy our life. So make sure you subscribe to this YouTube channel. I'm Catherine Newman. Thanks for joining, and I'll see you next week.